It's Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, and apparently it's Umbrella Day and Clean Out Your Computer Day, which feels targeted. This is CoeCast, I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. And yes, this episode was assembled by a fully automated little gremlin army of AI tools. If something sounds too clean, the robots did it. If something sounds unhinged, also the robots did it.
Perfect. Today's big theme is the AI stack is splitting into 3 lanes at the same time. Lane 1, mystery-free models like Aurora Alpha popping up on OpenRouter. Lane 2, polished closed suites like Runway dropping Gen 4.5 with storyboard tooling. Lane 3, open-source controllability like AudioControlNet, where you stop generating and praying and start steering.
Wait, can we start with Aurora Alpha? Because it literally feels like when a new sneaker colorway drops with no announcement and everyone's like, who funded this? Except it's a model on OpenRouter, and it's free.
Yeah, Aurora Alpha just kind of appears, and it's currently listed as free to use on OpenRouter.
That's the part that makes people feral. Anytime the internet hears free and better at coding, everybody turns into a raccoon with a credit card.
Totally. But marketers and ops teams need to assume a catch by default, and the most obvious catch is governance. If the model is free, someone's paying, and often the currency is your data.
So the catch is, congratulations, you just donated your Q1 campaign strategy deck to the training set.
That's the line, and the practical version is treat logging as on until you can prove otherwise. OpenRouter itself says it doesn't store prompts and responses unless you opt in to prompt logging, and it also has a zero data retention mode you can enforce. But individual providers can have their own data handling rules, so you still need to check the specific endpoints policy before you feed it anything sensitive.
Okay, Hunt, but real talk. If I'm a creator or a small marketing team, I still want the speed. How do I pressure test the hype without turning my whole workflow into a science fair?
You treat it like a staging environment. Don't plug it into production automations on day one. Give it a sanitized test suite. Take a chunk of code that's already public or non-sensitive, throw it a known bug list, and see if it actually reduces time to fix. Then test it on typical marketing glue work like write an N8 endnode, refactor a webhook handler, or debug UTM parsing.
And you log the results like a grown-up, not like vibes were immaculate.
Exactly. Track acceptance rate. How often did it ship a correct answer without a second pass? How often did it hallucinate a library function? And then you do the unsexy part. Check reliability over a few days, not one magical afternoon.
Also, can we talk provenance? Because provenance unclear is basically the whole timeline right now. Everyone's like, it's probably from a big lab, and I'm like, that's not a compliance strategy. That's astrology.
Yeah, leaders need a trust rubric that works even when paperwork is vibes. For me, it's what's the data policy? What's the retention? Do they offer enterprise controls? Can you disable logging? And do you have an audit trail? If you can't answer those, you keep it away from sensitive inputs. Period.
Okay, so Aurora Alpha is free, fast, but don't feed it your secrets. Got it. Now let's jump to Runway because it's the opposite energy. Runway's Gen 4.5 image-to-video plus these story panels features, it's like they're trying to turn storyboarding into a slot machine that finally pays out.
Runway's pushing toward repeatable creative ops. The story panels idea is sneaky powerful. Start with a hero frame, generate a multi-panel storyboard that keeps the character and world consistent, upscale panels if needed, then turn those panels into coherent shots.
This is so marketing coded, because most teams don't need a film. They need a shippable ad sequence that doesn't break continuity or brand.
Exactly. And you asked the best question in the prompt list. What's the first boring, repeatable workflow that survives legal review?
Yes, because cinematic AI is cute, but legal wants disclaimers and the logo can't melt.
The workflow I'd automate first is product-focused motion from approved key art. Like, take a brand-approved product render, generate 3 to 5 short shots that are basically camera moves and environment changes, then layer in real copy and real claims afterward. Keep the generative model away from literal on-screen factual statements.
So you're using Runway for vibes and motion, and your human team for truth.
Exactly. Co-creation. Put humans in charge of the meaning. Let the machine handle the grind of, give me 15 variations of the same visual concept.
But consistency is the trap. Everyone's like character consistency, until the mascot grows an extra finger or the packaging has a typo. What quality gates do you put before this touches paid spend?
You need a simple gate stack. First, automated checks. Does the logo match the approved asset? Does the product silhouette match? Are there any weird artifacts in keyframes? Second, human review. A quick pass for anatomical weirdness, brand color drift, and unintended symbolism. Third, usage constraints. Only certain templates and only certain approved images can initiate generations.
I love that you said templates because people keep trying to scale AI video like it's magic, when really it's manufacturing. You want a limited menu, not an infinite kitchen.
Exactly, and Runway's storyboard to video vibe, people are calling it world model energy. We're closer to controllable scene simulation than we were, but it's still not true simulation. It's more like better looking roulette with stronger steering.
Thank you. Because sometimes the discourse is like, we can direct movies now. And I'm like, okay, direct it to keep the same necklace on for the whole scene.
Right. The win is not perfection. The win is higher first pass usable output and better controllability so your automation loop doesn't explode with retries.
Speaking of controllability, AudioControlNet. This is the one I'm low-key most excited about because audio has been the neglected child of generative media. Video gets all the hype, audio gets generate me a jingle, and then everyone cries in the DAW.
AudioControlNet is basically ControlNet logic brought to audio. You can condition generation on loudness dynamics, pitch contours, and time-stamped sound events. The key phrase is time-varying, time-aligned control. That's huge.
Because last year it was generate a sound effect and then you're manually chopping it to hit the cut. Now it's like the whoosh happens here, the hit happens here, and you don't have to regenerate the whole track if the edit changes.
Exactly. For ad variant production, this unlocks something very practical. You can keep a consistent brand audio identity while still making lots of versions. Same cadence, same punchiness, same dynamics, but synced to different video timings.
So brands could build reusable audio style adapters, like our VO pacing, our jingle rhythm, our sound logo timing.
They could, and the IP nightmare is, whose style is it? If you trained an adapter on a composer's work or a voice actor's reads without proper rights, you've got a problem. Also, if that adapter becomes your signature and it leaks, congrats, you just open-sourced your sonic brand.
That's terrifying, but also kind of inevitable. The same way LUTs became a thing for video, we're about to have audio LUTs, but for dynamics and timing.
Great analogy. And this is where the three lanes connect. You've got stealth-free models that are tempting for automations, polished suites that make creatives fast, and open-source control layers that make outputs editable. The smartest orgs will draw a line like this, rent magic for speed, build control for consistency, and keep secrets in-house.
And never bet your career on a demo. I'm sorry, I had to.
You're right, though. Also, quick ecosystem check-in. In the last few days, we've been talking about multi-shot consistency in video, assistants turning into ad surfaces, and agentic coding getting more reliable. This week's stories rhyme with that. Aurora Alpha is the cheap brain lane for automations. Runway is the creative factory lane. AudioControlNet is the fine controls so you can actually ship lane.
It's giving the stack is maturing. Not calmer, just more industrial.
More industrial is the perfect word. Okay, let's land this with a takeaway for creators and marketers.
If you're tempted by Aurora Alpha, use it like a burner phone. Great for speed, but don't text your secrets.
If you're using Runway Gen 4.5, automate the boring stuff, approved images to storyboard panels to short shots with review gates. Don't automate your ethics.
And if you care about audio, start paying attention to controllability. Because time-aligned means you can actually iterate like an editor, not like a gambler.
All right, go clean out your computer for Clean Out Your Computer Day, and maybe keep an umbrella for the algorithm storms.
Subscribe to KoiCast, tell a friend who's drowning in asset versions, and check out koi.com/resources for AI news and updates.
Thanks for hanging with us. Catch you next time.